British English versus American English. This is going to be fun when you encounter this, especially in Scotland. First thing to know when you get to Scotland, it might be a little hard for you to understand people. So please be polite and just ask them to repeat what they said one more time. Because sometimes it takes a little while for you to understand the Scottish accent or the Scottish brogue to really understand it. I always find that after a week or two, you really then can hear the difference. You're just more used to hearing it. Yeah. In some ways, it's almost like if you go to the US, to Boston, or to the South, and you're dealing with someone with a strong accent and you have trouble hearing them. So be really courteous about asking people to repeat. You'll find some of our group will do better with that than others will do worse about hearing the differences. Yeah. There are some words that are different in the US and different in British words. So those you'll encounter really as you go, and we'll find that. There's words that I've even used in this, like someone can get pissed at you. Pissed is different in the UK, because in the UK, if you're pissed, you're usually drunk. Where in the US, if you're pissed, you're usually angry. Yeah, so those things are different. We will be living in a flat, not an apartment. Yeah, so the Brits call it a flat. We can sometimes say that the difference between appetizer and starter, those are different words. If people have bangs, sometimes in the UK they call that fringe. Yeah, that in the front. A barrette can be a hair slide, and sometimes we talk about things like we broil something where they might grill it over there. The difference between candy and sweets are that we in America have cell phones, they have mobile phones. Yeah, so chips are actually fries. Yeah, so they do not have French fries. French fries they call chips. So you can have fish and chips, which is fish, fried fish and fries. Now, if you want to talk about a chip, a potato chip, they call that a crisp. Yeah, so you'll get used to that. You'll also get used to different flavors, like there are some shrimp or prawn flavored chips. Some people will like those, some will not as much. In the US, we talk about cookies. There they talk about biscuits. Yeah, so it's very common to have coffee and a biscuit rather than coffee and cookies. Yeah, a diaper can be called a nappy over there. Yeah, and in the car, the front of the car is called the bonnet, the hood. The back of the car, the trunk of the car, is called the boot. Yeah, so that you can put things in the boot of the car. Yeah, eggplant is actually aubergine over there, and aubergine means purple. It's a purple color, so that always makes sense to me. The elevator is the lift. Yeah, and an expressway or the highway is actually the motorway. Yeah, a garbage can could be a bin. Yeah, and things like the mail can be the post. Pants are actually trousers. So you'll find all of these just kind of unique differences. A sweater is actually called a jumper. Yeah, so people might be talking about your jumper is really cool, or you're wearing a jumper. Or maybe you should, if it's cold, why don't you put on a jumper? And you're like, what does that mean? They mean put on a sweater. Yeah. So those are some of the words. We will find other ones, and it's always quite fun to just get a sense of that and even adopt the other one as we go over there. Sometimes, I'm not sure so much anymore, but the first time we went over, it was always difficult to ask for coffee because they would ask you if you wanted white coffee or black coffee. So coffee with cream was like a white coffee. So you'll have to just navigate those things, and you'll realize the differences that happen in the world. But even when I go to New York and I just ask for a regular coffee, I mean not decaf, sometimes that in New York, I'll get a coffee with cream and sugar. That's regular in New York, rather than just a regular non-decaf coffee. So those are some of the things that are fun to travel and to figure out is language.